Hi, my name's Betty Judge. I imported this breed from Portugal in the year of 2002. The reason I imported a breed like this was because I had Border Terriers and my hands have got very arthritic and I needed something with an easier coat. But I also wanted a dog that was a proper dog and would go hunting along with the rest of the family dogs. Overall, I've imported over 46 from Portugal over the years to get a big gene pool. Here is Rosie. She's a smooth coat. This is Kitty, also known as Clever Clogs. And this one is Honey, and she's going to America next week. So she's going to a new home. She's a puppy of 16 weeks old. They are a small dog, and what's interesting is the breed standard states they should be between 8 inches and 12 inches to the shoulder, which actually is a rather large difference. It's actually 50% of the dog. So you can get some quite tall ones with a longer body, a different balance, to say someone like little Rosie, who's very small. The bigger ones tend to be in the wire coats. The smooth coats tend to be more of a standard size, around about 8 to 10 inches. Colours basically are fawn and white throughout. The colour that is not accepted is completely white. Some of the colours like black and tan are not preferred, but basically this is the colour. The smooth coat has always been about since the 1600s. There's 6 varieties, 2 large wire and smooth, 2 mediums wire and smooth, and they only had the smooth and the small. And around about the 1960s, the elders of the breed decided that they would make a wire variety of the small, or the Pequeno. And they added Cairn, Chihuahua, and Dachshund and Yorkshire Terrier. This is what I've been told by the president of the Kennel Club, to get a dog with a wire coat. So therefore, their gene pool's slightly wider. It has been said that they introduced medium wires as well, which may account for the wires being a little bit taller. I've bred several litters where I've put a wire dog to a wire bitch, and in those litters we've had mixed coat litters. This is because when they evolved the wire coat, they actually used some of the smooth, small ones as a basis for keeping the breed as a standard. Consequently, we do get mixed litters. Until recently, I had never had a wire coat puppy in a smooth to smooth mating. They said that would never happen, but I can assure you it has. I've got a wire coat puppy from a smooth to smooth mating, but generally you do get mixed litters in both. If you cross a smooth with a wire, you could get mixed litters, or you may get all smooths. It does seem to be the most predominant trait. You seem to get more smooths when they're crossed than you do wires. The Portuguese Podengo was bred to live around the house and kill rats and mice in the grain stores, also to catch rabbits for the table. Portugal has never been a very wealthy country, so they needed a dog that could adapt to their way of life and help them. A lot of people get it mistaken for a terrier. They're a hunting hound, a rustic hunting hound, and they go back to the Pharaoh hound. The traders brought these dogs to the Iberian Peninsula, and the Portuguese hit on this breed for hunting rabbits for the table. The bigger breeds, the medium, hunts deer and rabbit, and the large ones hunt deer and wild boar. But they are a true hound and should never be mistaken for anything else. But unlike a lot of the hounds, they're not independent, like a scent hound that will go off at the drop of a hat and go off hunting and leave you. These want you to be part of their pack. They won't leave you, they'll stay with you. They hunt them in small packs in Portugal, 4 to 6 dogs. These are quite capable of catching rabbits. There's many a time I've been sat in the house here and suddenly a Podengo will appear with a rabbit and drop it at my feet, very pleased with itself and go off hunting again within the confines of the yard, because we get them coming into the garden, the rabbits. Temperament's very easygoing, very clever dogs. They are very loyal to their owner, suspicious of strangers, which is not a bad thing, and very good with children, excellent with children, and very obedient as well. They're very affectionate. They would make good lap dogs. They love being part of a family because they're a pack dog. They're very alert. They will tell you if anything's wrong or anybody's here. They're not a noisy dog, and they're very cat-like in their hunting skills, so they're very quiet. They don't make a lot of noise, except when they're on the chase. They will do a yip, 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 which they call in Portugal a meticar. I don't recommend that they left alone. As they live in a pack, they like the company of other dogs. In fact, personally, I think they're better with another dog. If you've got two, they don't mind because they've still got the pack, as it were. But saying that, I know lots of people who are at home most of the day have no problem with one dog. I certainly don't recommend anybody that goes out to work during the day have a Podengo, because it's not fair. The dog needs that pack or friend to be with them. But I do know of lots of people that actually take their dogs to work with them because they're so small, so handy, so that's not a problem. They're a big dog in a small body, there's no doubt about it. They think they're huge, but we've got them with all sorts of animals, and they really are a fantastic dog that will listen to you when you say, this is your friend. One in particular, which is Kitty, we brought an orphan lamb in, and she mothered that from the moment it arrived. She slept with it, she cleaned it up, she did everything as if it was her baby. She does that with the piglets, which you will see. If they're introduced as a puppy with a rabbit or a guinea pig, you shouldn't have a problem because they accept it. They are a very waggy-tailed dog. As puppies, I don't recommend too much exercise because they're a small breed, so they take quite a while to fully mature. We recommend 5 minutes for every month of the puppy's life. But once they're fully mature, they'll go as far as you'll want to, ever. I exercise mine behind a quad bike. I'd take between 15 and 20 out at once, and they just follow me and stay with me. So they can go quite long distances, but not as baby puppies. As long as you're with them and they can be part of the fun of life with you, they're not a demanding dog. They don't get fretful if they don't go for a walk. As long as they've got something to play with, they're very playful. Some of them will go into the water readily and others won't even go near it. It all depends on what's at the other side, probably. If there was a rabbit the other side, I think everybody would go in the water. The majority of them are not greedy dogs. And so training is a lot easier if you've got a greedy dog. But some can be. I would say they're easy to train, very much. They're very clever and they soon get the gist of the training, and they've got it in one time. You know, you'll say, this is not going to happen. And the next time they'll go, oh, that doesn't happen. You know, they can be incredibly intelligent. They love toys and they look after them. They're not very destructive of toys. We've got a lot of soft toys. They die very quickly when you've got a border terrier. But these, they're years old and they still play with them, and they're not hard-mouthed, I suppose. There's quite a few people doing agility at very high level. One of my first puppies I ever bred went to a lady in Scotland, and she took it to a very high level. And there are other people now also doing agility with them, so they enjoy doing those sort of things and being part of you. You don't get the shedding like you do in a lot of the small dogs with short coats. They tend to shed about twice a year, and it comes out in sort of fluffy bits, and you can almost comb it out in 2 days. And certainly with these smooth coats, we don't get shedding, unlike some of the little white terriers that there's white hairs everywhere and you can never get rid of them. With the wire coat, all you really need is a very fine toothed comb. We comb them 2 or 3 times a week. It takes out all the shedding hair. It will shed itself if you don't comb it. Occasionally they'll go what we call slightly slick, and then it comes back fairly quickly. They need to have their actual skin stimulated. We use a stiff brush. They are extremely clean dogs. I can remember someone asking me about 2 years after I'd had the first ones, how often do you bath them? And I thought, I've never bathed one, they're always clean. So the lightest of grooming, really. And certainly somebody that has one could do it themselves. They wouldn't need to go to a dog grooming salon to have their dog groomed. They are a breed that's shown untrimmed, and so, you know, it should be penalised if they're ever heavily trimmed and sculptured. I mean, they are what is meant to be a natural, rustic little dog, and that's how they should be left. In actual fact, I am the health officer for the Portuguese Podengo Club of Great Britain, and I've been monitoring the breed ever since they brought them into the country. We have had 1 or 2 health issues. I actually brought a dog in that was diagnosed with epilepsy. But what we've also had is slipping patella, a few cases of that, and also femoral head necrosis, which is leg births. And quite frankly, I personally wouldn't breed from any of those lines. And since then, I've not had any problems. Since I've eradicated any of those dogs connected with that, I haven't had any problems. But I do believe there are people that are breeding from dogs that were connected to the epileptic dog. Now, that's their choice, but I certainly wouldn't recommend it. If someone's looking for a Podengo, then they should ask the breeder what bloodlines they've got in their pedigrees because of the 1 or 2 health issues that have appeared. But I should also say that some of these health issues that have appeared are quite normal in any other breed. Go and visit someone with Podengos, someone that knows about them. Ask all the questions that are going to be relevant to you. Most weekends I get people coming to see me because they want to meet the breed because they are very rare and there's not many people that own them, as they're only around about 800 in the country. If a breeder's genuine, they will let you have the dog alone so that you can get a feel of the breed, because they are not everybody's. I know I've had families come here and they think perhaps they're too small, and then others that the husband wanted a bigger dog, don't do your research. There's a lot to be learnt about the breed. Even for me, I learn something every day. So I would certainly visit and find out as much about the breed as you possibly can before you decide to purchase a puppy. It's a bit like Marmite with the smooths. Everybody likes the fluffy wire ones, but since I've been breeding more smooth, they've become more popular. But it's everybody's preference, isn't it, really? I've had people come here for a wire female and they've gone away with a smooth male. And they've been absolutely fantastic, happy, and they've come back for another one. That's the beauty of the breed, is that once you've got one, you want another. And that's brilliant, because we know that it's a successful breed then. And if you have 2, it's better than watching television, because they're so funny. This breed I brought into the country in 2002, and I can assure you I would never, ever be without a Portuguese Podengo. What they lack of size is they make it up for huge characters, and they are your personal dog.